Okay. 大家好. Hello everyone. My Chinese name is Hu Chenguang, and you can call me Light. And it means the same means in Chinese. And at first, okay, I'm a nature map designer from China, and I'm not an expert. I'm just a lover for designing a map. And at first, I have to thank Jörg and Richard for inviting me. I'm very excited. But in China, no one invite me to have a talk. So today, thank you. I'm a little nervous. It's my first time to give a presentation in English, so please allow me to use very simple words to express what I'm thinking about. So back to the title. I gave a very straightforward title to Richard, and it's written Balancing Art and Practicality. Yeah, and I changed two words to aesthetics and utility. I think it looks much more better than what I want to tell. I want to tell you about what I intend to express. And next, I'm going to talk about it in 4 parts, representing 4 different stages of my designs during the past years. Okay. And as we know, Nature Map is a tool. It helps people to solve problems and leading them the way to the destinations. But also, it can be artwork or even a cultural symbol. I take that cultural symbol from one city, a sock from the London Underground, yeah. But most of the maps was very complex. So designers like Harry Big come up with this creative schematic diagram to help people easy to read. But in my opinion, usability is the basic. And above it, we have to balance these things. On the one side, it's about the sense of the design and the people's emotional needs and the brand identity of the major companies. And another side is about the functionalities and the information levels on the map and the limitations of the different mediums and something else. But the question is, the balance does not always remain unchanged. It depends on what kind of people the map is designed for, and what medium or where you want to put or display the maps. And what stage, the when is about what stage you are staying at. It's about your experiences and what the situation you are faced at, and different popular styles in different years. But for me, I'm not an expert in mapping or wayfinding system design, and never worked in a major company. I just design for myself. Map design is my own interest and a part-time job. So maybe I have a different experience and insight to share with you guys. So here is everything started. Oh, it's not here. On the background is a Chinese map. And I was born in a small city down there called Jinhua, not far from Shanghai. And there is no metro systems, only have bus and long-distance national railways. When I was young, I like playing computer games like the SimCities, and like collecting people and reading at home for about a lot of time. And never thought when I grow up I will design the major map myself. After I go to college, I moved to Shanghai and studying graphic design. And the first time to meet the major, the real one, the big major, and soon get interested in it. The architecture, the wayfinding systems, and every design in the major systems. And now I moved to Beijing and live there. And let's go back to about 20 years ago. Here's a picture showing the opening of the first metro line in Shanghai. So you can see that there's a poster showing congratulations to the line 1 pre-operating. And there is this kind of public transport system is a totally real thing, new thing to the citizens. They come in great numbers. Even now, people will come. Every new line opened, they will come. So after 21st century, people in China first met the metro, what it is like. And you can see the people in the train finger at the map. And this was the very fresh new thing to them. They never met what is about the route map, what is metro map. But the image is not so important at that time. The line was very short, or just only one line. People know that where the line will go in the station, where they are. So you can see the metro maps at that time in 1990s. The left is Beijing's and the right is Shanghai. And they look very simple. But you can see they are in only few places in the stations and very visible. And not very visible. The metro map is not very important at times. So for example, the picture on the top, the red title says welcome to take the subway, but not the title of the map. But you can see the routes and the stations are very small. So people not usually all use it. After some years, here's the 3 versions of Shanghai metro map. The lines become more complex and have more information. These 3 maps is between about 2001 and 2009. You can find the design was totally different. Every update with a new design language. This version is in 2006 and was very popular at that time. People love it. It looks like a dragon with 2 heads. But I think this makes people remember it, even if it's not very good. After 2010, the maps looks much better. You can notice that the maps are from the official Shanghai metro. Yeah, they have the same design language, the black patterns under there. But when you look at the details, you will find the font, the languages, and the shape of the details are totally different. And the latest one used the London style again. They used the ones before. So you can realize that everything is in a mess at that time. And without any graphic standards and design languages, it seems like no one cares about it. In the metro company or the passengers, no one cares about it. So I want to improve something. Until I got this gift from my friend. It's a pocket map from the London Underground. This tiny thing is a 4-fold brochure and very small with a lot of information, and have a beautiful cover from the artist. This thing really impressed me, and I saw many people now collecting the tiny things and sell them on the eBay. So I made one copy from this style. This is my first work. Totally a London style tool map. In order to improve the Shanghai, the worst versions of the Shanghai metro map, and I'm trying to make the lines similar to the actual geography map, and make every station name easy to read, and highlight the most important stations, use a larger type. And then I do the same thing like you. I make the metro map into a very small card size. And It's a sticker. You can cover it on a card. People used to use public transport card very much, but now people use QR code to take the subway. And it's quite useful at that time. But it's not easy to put everything on a very small site. But luckily, Chinese characters can be written by horizontally or vertically. So I can use different color to put them together and make larger, easy to read. But at this time, I realized the balancing between the design and the limitation. So I have to give up something sometimes. After Shanghai metro maps, I start to redesign other cities. Here's Tianjin, a city near the capital Beijing. You can notice that the center of the part looks like a Chinese character, like this. And so I came up with an idea, so I can put everything into a triangle. So I put the average shape of the station and the line numbers and the background patterns, even you can see clearly, into the triangle network. But what I didn't expect, the people loved this work very much at that time, and they start to knowing me on the internet. So I'm very happy and starting to design more metro maps. You can notice that it's not clearly the line number, the lines, and the station shape was all triangles. So at this part of stage, I learned about, give a lot of passion in the metro map design. And after input some official metro map, I start to design my own style of the maps. And come to the next stage. And after 2010, most of the Chinese citizens start to use smartphones. And people used to use the papers or the maps on the wall, now starting to use online websites and navigation applications. And the metro map began to change. In 2010, I was involved in a project, the Shanghai Metro official application. It was the first official metro app released on App Store in China. I was the UI and UX designer. And in the same year, a software developer found me, and we start to cooperate this metro navigation app called Metroman until now. And you can see this is the UI at that time. I start to put my metro map into the application. So after doing these two projects, I realized the way of using metro maps started to change a lot. We used to see the entire map at the first time. So the first look of the map was very important. And they used map index and legend to find the stations. But now, when we use the smartphones, always start from a small part of the map. And the place was around your locations, displaying only a small part of the map. And we fill the map with our fingers. We can see more details, and the map can tell us everything. You don't need to ask or search by yourself. So I started to redesign the schematic diagram of Shanghai Metro. And you can see the left, it's no need to be so compact and no need to worry about the paper age limitations. And I must leave enough space for every station so you can easily to touch the station. And I can display both English and Chinese in the same place. And less distortion, let people much easier to understand. And more elements of the landmark and geography informations can be added to the map. For example, the peak on the left is a part of the Hangzhou metro map. I'm not sure you can see the details in the screen. And when you zoom in, you can see I made the city symbols into the map. It's like Hangzhou is the stone towers and the West Lake. So I put there on the level down to the map in a very quiet way. So it will not disturb other informations. And another work is about Xi'an. It's an ancient capital in China, and they are kept the old buildings and the ancient city walls. So I designed the icons and the patterns into the map. So the metro map started to become more emotional than before. So I can put more things into the map. I think the maps are not only easy to use, and also let people enjoy the feeling of reading the map and remember it. So after starting the project of Metro Map, I designed all the cities in China, and it's more than 50 cities. You can feel all the cities in this website, metroman.cn. And this year's China, you can see. You see the map of China. And this year's China is in a very fast development. In 15 years ago, in 2009, and there are only 10 cities have metro systems in mainland China. But now there are nearly 50 cities. Not only the cities become more, the length of the metro in some cities has doubled or even. For example, the city of Chengdu in the Middle East of China, or Middle West, and have its first line in 2010. And every 1 or 2 years, there were new lines opened. The metro map must be totally redesigned, and the passengers need to refresh their memories and remember the new design of the map again and again. So I always like to design a future planning version of the map, so people can use it for a couple of years, and they can know more information, such as which line is still under construction. But the problem is, designing a future version will cost more time. You have to collecting information. It will take about half of the time. And you have to make sure everything is correct. Passengers may not care about your designs, but they very care about the information is correct or not. Another problem is the passengers often question me that the lines on the metro map was too distorted and not very conform to the reality. And when you design the maps with a lot of lines like Shanghai, it's very difficult to balance the design of feeling of the schematic map and the reality of the geography map. You can't have both. And for example, here are 2 versions of Shanghai schematic map on the left and the right, and the bottom was the geography map. So let's focus on the red and the yellow line on the top. It's totally different from the real one. The red one turns to the left, in the reality is to the north, and very close to the yellow line. So it will misleading the passengers, and they will make the very wrong decisions and make bad navigations to the wrong place, even they know the metro map was distorted. And here's another problem. It's about your device performance. When I work with my partner, he's a developer, I noticed that when the map became more bigger and bigger, it was affects everyone's iPhones and all devices. It will not work very well on your devices. So the more, so even if the design is full screen, the image size cannot be too large. So use vector image is a good idea, but it's not working in every situation. The bitmap image is still necessary, like the PNG, JPG, like this image files. So I started to redesign the Shanghai image map again in order to limit the size of the picture and with more informations. So you can see the new version is more compact, and I can put more information and less empty space means you can have more. You must have to make sure everything is legible. Here, so this is the thing I'm doing right now: redesign the big cities with very much more information and still under construction, coming out with new lines. Here is the Beijing metro in 2030. Maybe there were more lines in the future. But it's a little different from Japan. Japan have many cooperation companies, but in China always have one. So it's one system, not different systems. So always you have to put everything in one map. Another situation is the city looks very simple, but with a very long shape. And it always have a lot of empty spaces. Here's the city called Dalian, and it's a harbor city in northeast China. The city, you can see, is separated from the northeast to the southwest, and the picture is very, very huge. So this is the way we usually did to compressing or twisting the end part of the lines and stations, or cutting some parts of the lines to a very small area outside of the map. But these ways can save a lot of space, make the picture small. But the problem is the major maps look over-distorted, and people feel confused. Once, I was impressed by this Japanese traditional style map called Dalian Bird's Eye View map, drawn by Yoshida Hatsamburo. It's in 1927. It's a very old map. He used a perspective drawing method to deal with the map. So you can see the whole city in one picture and without using a very large size. So I can deal with map with the same way. First, I making a schematic diagram in normal way and tilt top and bottom at the same time. So I can get a whole metro map with a bird view feeling. So here is the work looks like. And I don't know, maybe the water is not clearly on the map. But this is not a very universal method to deal with this kind of cities. It's only suitable for a few numbers of cities. Okay, and after doing so many similar styles of the city, I'm a little tired and want to try something more different. And here I want to show 4 works I did recently. Before my work, I would like to show this work designed not from me. It's from a Korean designer called 0.0. I was shocked by them at that time. They mix the national flags and the lines and the rivers and elements together, and it looks brilliant. But however, the distortion of the map is very difficult to understand and read, and the text is very small on the map. So I think it still have to balance the aesthetic and the utility. You have to make the map useful. So I chose several small projects to start trying some emotional feels, such like this is the Delinha Tramway map. It's a small, very small city in Qinghai province, and lives a lot of Tibetans and Mongolians there, and not all Chinese. And you can see that there are a lot of dark red and yellow golden lines and patterns in their normal lives. So I used the elements into this work to make the work more emotional. And here comes to my hometown. Finally, it has a metro line in 2022. It's an intercity railway and connecting some cities. And it's up more than about 100 kilometers. And most section of the line are overground. So you can see the view of the cities, the countryside, and the mountains around the city. So I use a very traditional way. It's a traditional Chinese painting called shanshui, means to draw the mountains and the water in a very quiet way, and to show you the feeling of the landscapes. So I want people to use the map and remember the feelings of the map. And because of the small cities with only one line or several stations, people always don't use the maps or notice them. They always know where they're going and know the station where they are. So I want to make the maps more unrememberable. I want to use them more. Another work is the hot meter. It's in the north of China, and it have a lot of Mongolians. Mongolians live there. So you can see the texts are all in the vertical format. So this is the Chinese characters, and this is the traditional traditional Mongolian characters. But even now, a few Mongolians can write and read the traditional characters. The government costs a lot to protect these languages. So if you go there, you will find the Mongolian characters everywhere, even in the metro systems. So, and the entrance, and the signs, and everywhere. You can see it everywhere. So I want to do something for these languages too. So I made this map. So I put the Chinese characters and the Mongolian characters all vertically, and distorted the lines a little bird feelings to let all the texts can be vertically. And the last one, I create a very unique style of the Japan high-speed railway, known as the Shinkansen. The idea comes from a very professional seeing in railway system. And let's see the map on the left. You can see there's a circle highlight the biggest city, the Tokyo in Japan. And every high-speed train starts access to this city. So the train from the local to the capital called the upwards trains, and otherwise is called the downwards trains. So it sounds like a leaf. Every line will end at one point. So I folded the shape of the Japan main islands, make it like a, I don't know how to pronounce it, shrimp. So you can see the city of Tokyo is still in the middle. And I use the sense of the Japanese traditional paintings and to make the work look like more Japan. So you can easily read every station starts from Tokyo here, and all the station is separate out to the destinations. You can read this kind of, how to say that? Shinkansen map in a very totally different way, unusual way. So designers always want the work look good and attractive, but always you have to face different situations and problems. I put 3 words here. In Chinese called 信达雅. It's always used to describe the art of languages. But I think here we can use to describe the design for matrix map design. And firstly, the map must be correct and usable. And then we have to improve the design of the map to make sure it's readability, and comfortable feeling. And next, we have to use the unique creative designs to make the work impressive, and even if becoming a cultural symbol. So wish everyone can use a brilliant metro map. And thanks. And here's my email address. Today's questions maybe I cannot understand, so you can email me. And Samuel will help me to be a translator.
Thanks very much. Well, we'll still try with questions if someone has. Yes, over
there. You made a card metro map in Shanghai. There are many stations in Shanghai. What is the core of the
Cool.
how to make what is important skill to make that size to the card size metro map is small. And what is important skill to make that small?
Wow. How to say that? So is this page? So it's talking about this? Yeah. So maybe I'm facing the same situation like you to face about. Chinese characters are more complex than English characters. You have some characters very complex. So if you put on this side, about this side, like the credit card, so maybe you cannot read. So make sure. So I think the first thing is to confirm the minimum, the smallest size of the type, and then try to put every station's name on this paper, and then try to design the lines and put everything look beautiful and less space. So I think I can. So, but I don't know. You can understand this. So, yeah. Okay, thank you. This I'm not prepared. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you. Any other questions? Because I have one. Otherwise, no. Okay. So, with all the fast expansion of metro systems in China, how much time, when you have been designing your maps, how much time or have you been thinking like future-proofing your maps at all? Do you know what lines are going to be built in advance? Are you building in extra space so that later on you can add in the lines, or do you not worry about it and just redo your map when the new lines are open?
So I just said I will design a future version, and I can use at least 5 years. But the planning in China always changed. So you must must follow the informations. Luckily, we have a lot of metro fans in China, and they used the applications and they know me. So I have a little group online, so they will send me a lot. So they will push me to, well, there are the new line informations come out. You must update your map. Wow. Okay, I will update later. So it's always like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yuck.
You're doing very well. You mapped all of China. Do you plan to map the rest of the world?
Thank you. Huh?
Do
Oh,
you plan to map all the rest of the world?
rest world, okay. I always want to do the cities outside of China, but always have no time. When I want to start, the new planning information come to me. So I always have to redesign the maps again and again. So like the Shanghai image map, I totally designed about 10 versions from about 9 lines, now have about 30 lines, so have many versions. But this year I must to design some cities outside of China. The first I'm thinking about is Singapore. Yeah, Singapore. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you.
I have a question. I hope it's not a trap. But if I try to jump in a few years in China, we can be completely impressed by the speed of the development. It's completely unthinkable in other countries. No, I was thinking there were 30 networks. You said 50.
Yeah, now I have 50.
Okay. If you add the tram systems, I don't know how many you have.
Without tram system.
And if you add the bus systems as they were, I don't know how many you have. But I think that one day the development of the metro, heavy infrastructure, will have to be a bit weaker because of the cost of that. It will happen. And at that moment, the multimodal offers will become the standard. So tram for a level, metro for a level, bus for a level. And when I was speaking about abundance, Chinese network are already abundant, but with on one level, metro. But did you begin to think how to combine with other modes? Because this is the reality of the people. If you were always careful about how to reach the people expectations, searching a bus around the station can be a nightmare. Because I've tried that in Guangzhou and in Beijing, and fortunately I was not alone. But it's really difficult. How did you begin to think how to combine the modes?
Modes.
I don't want this to be a trap. Yeah, if you didn't begin, it's not a problem. But it will be the work in the coming years.
So at first I have make sure Samuel，他说的是那个，sorry，他说的是就是地图是否要考虑，就是像公交车这些。I understand. So I have done something at the tram system is in my work right now, but the buses in China is in a very different situation. People now use the apps like where it's only in China is like the Google Maps and Apple Maps, and people always use smartphones to solve this problem. So I think they are not so care about the information is on the map. So, but for me, the question is I have not started to think about this thing. And
I understand through your answer that the sentence my boss had pronounced in the 90s, which is the future will be with no map, can occur with the buses. You know, it means that traveling by bus in some cities where the networks are very dense, to do that well, you will not have to use maps. Does that mean it's a tragedy, in fact, for a mapping symposium, but perhaps it's the reality. No, because we are, because in a few days, in 2 days, we will have to go to the UITP to speak about that. The title of the session is "In Maps We Trust." Most of the people of the audience manage bus systems. Fortunately, the bus networks are not so complicated in many cities. But when it begins to be complicated and multimodal, does it mean that the maps are not the solution? So it's not a trap. It's not only to you the question. It's all to all the audience.
Yeah, I understand that. I think it's similar to the photography to the artist at about 100 years ago. The photography, the cameras come out. Usually people to paint people. Now, how to say that? 代替，就是对。So I think that maybe at that time I will try something more interesting, not only focus on this kind of major map. Maybe at that time the major map will totally changed. So yeah, I think it's that.
Well, it's become art, right? You
Yeah,
focus-
maybe it's art. It's artwork.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
One more
Oh,
question?
no, no.
Okay. So you can email me. I can read your questions and think about it and reply you.
Yes.
Thank you.